Thank you for joining me. So hope you can hear me okay. What we've got going on, I've got three models here. This is a Revell P-51 Mustang. I'm working on foiling that. We've got the Airfix right here, P-51D, and the 132nd Revell P-51 Mustang. Each one of these is going to be a little different. As you can see, this one, the Revell, is going in foil. Then the other one, we are going to be putting Alclad. This is Alclad II Aluminum ALC-117. And then we're going to be using aluminum paint for the other one. So we're just trying two different ways here to make this work. And we are going to see how well we can do everything. So just sit here, relax, and enjoy as we start painting these models. Going to start with the Airfix kit with the Alclad, since that is fairly easy to do and it can dry. It's lacquer based. So this stuff, you got to mix it up really, really well. Hello, I will try to respond as I see things. I don't speak French, but I like you too, and they play in France all the time, so that kind of counts, right? So I got my Alclad right here. Going to mix this in. My air compressor is RTG by my side. Make sure all my cameras are up and running, which they appear to be. Working on doing this properly, you know. It's model making madness, so we have to make everything look pretty. This stuff looks like it's mixing fairly well. It's very thin if you've never used Alclad before. It doesn't take a lot. Got to use light coats. Dries very quick. Smells wonderful. So hopefully I don't get some sort of weird infectious disease. Let's see here. Try to get some of that in here. It's about what I'm using. I'm not going to put too much in here. It does go rather quickly. You know, my brain is starting to work, so I'm probably going to put my mask on so I don't choke myself. That way you don't have to hear the exhaust fan going on if I can find my mask. It's always good to wear that thing. Don't know where it is. I guess I'll just suffer in agony. Found it. Here we go. You know, respirators, they are important. I suggest using them if you haven't ever used one. You know, I mean, just care about your lungs. I guess that's the best I could say, in your brain cells. Some people might not care about their brain cells. I do. Anyway, here we go. Just like that, I ran out of paint already. That's turned out very well so far. I'm very happy. I like that. All right, so that is the Alclad aluminum. It's a dull aluminum. For this aircraft right here, we are going to switch to the Tamiya aluminum color, dull aluminum. We're going to see how that looks. Let's see how this turned out in there. Looks like everything stayed. We'll just have to do a little bit of touch-ups for that. Not a big deal. Alclad went on nice and smooth. Already dry. Looks really nice in my opinion. I like it. I've seen all sorts of different ways this plane can go. People say, oh, well, you need to make the wings dull and the rest of the body regular. But from what I've seen, you know, there are just all sorts of various styles for this aircraft. So this is the air fix sprayed in Alclad. Time to spray this in aluminum for Tamiya color, since that is what I have. Let's see if I got all my color out of this. Probably a little alcohol to clean up what's left in here. It's always good to clean your airbrushes out. Don't want to mix stuff. That can be bad. Very bad for the country. Let's see if y'all asked any questions while I was doing this. I see one. Yep, good to be here. I'm glad y'all are watching. Everything's turning out exactly how I want, which is a good thing. Try to clear out the rest of this color in here. Clean out the airbrush. Alcohol will work on Alclad. Other colors it might not work, like Tamiya. It doesn't need to be thinned down. It's straight out of the bottle. For those of you that have never used it, it's my first time. I'm getting used to it. Kind of used a little bit more than what I thought I would, but like everything, it takes practice and you get used to it. Make stuff look pretty. It's model making madness. That's my opinion. All right, we are going to put in this other color. Got to mix it up though, and a bunch of it. How many milliliters is in here? My little handy dandy stirring device. That's what I don't like right there. We'll have to figure out how to maybe get some of that back in there inside. That's what happens when paint settles and it sits for a while on the shelves. But this thing always works for me. Hopefully we could see the difference between the Alclad and just the regular flat aluminum paint. Tamiya is acrylic. I'm not using any enamel because I don't feel like it. There we go. Perfect. Get my stuff here to stir it up. My thingy's not sucking very well, unfortunately. could just be also that it's a thicker paint. And that's okay, that stuff happens. Get our Tamiya thinner. X20A. They're recommended, although they say you can use lacquer thinner just the same. We, however, are not going to do that. There we go. I think that's about equal right there, what we just did. Hopefully, if not, we'll see what happens when it's stirred up. Try a different mixer. Sometimes those things get like, yeah, it's much better. The seals get a little worn out, the little stopper thing in those. That's all right. I was using about 10 psi, by the way, to spray the Alclad. Not a lot. Didn't want it going all over creation. Did one light coat and one wet coat. For those keeping track at home, get these bubbles to go away right here. You can see. I'm going to turn my air pressure up a little bit for this. I'm at 15 right now on air pressure now for spraying the aluminum type. We're going to start on the wings right here. If I didn't know any better, I would think I've got some gunk in my trunk going on here. I forgot to clear away some of the flashing on this, but it's okay. I was not looking for perfection while doing this airplane. I'm just more or less looking to have fun while doing it. And fun is the key. This is actually turning out very well. For those of you, this is the Revell 132nd P-51B Mustang, being airbrushed with an aluminum color of Tamiya XF-16, I believe. Not sure where I put my bottle. Then again, that could be a good thing that I lost my bottle, right? The thing about these colors are they don't have to go on very thick. You spray it on thin, it gets the point. That's exactly what we're doing here. Just light dusting, really. Ran out of paint. I almost had the whole thing sprayed. So we'll mix up a little bit more here for what we need. I honestly feel like one coat is enough for this aircraft. I just have to find where I put my paint. Got it. I put it off to the side. I do need to get the other wing, so I did forget about that, unfortunately. Not a big deal, not a big deal. there's not really a lot of components to that aircraft for the P-51D. There are some clear parts, but I didn't mask those off. I might just hand paint them. These are them right here. You got to do all around the edges. So we'll see how to do that. I'm going to do that at a different time. My main goal was to get these things painted. I'm going to look at my instructions real quick just to see what I have left of that big P-51B. Since it's fairly simple, like I said, not a lot of components to it. It would help if you don't lose your instructions when you're doing stuff. But unfortunately, I lost my instructions. They are somewhere. No, Airfix kit's right here. They wanted to disguise themselves, so we got these right here. I'm going to look at the box art, see what that looks like. Then we can get this thing all figured out. All right, so I guess we're done pretty much with the aluminum. I don't think I've got all this taken care of. Those will go green anyway. Maybe that. Probably will go green. Got the hoods already taken care of. Everything else in this aircraft. Landing gears painted aluminum. There we go. Piece number 48. There's always something to be found. For those of you just joining, I am painting the P-46B. Just about done with that. So we'll be moving on momentarily. We're going to put a couple more coats on there I've got that we can do. Just a light dusting of this aircraft. Really light, just like that. I'm happy with how this thing turned out. Perfect. I don't even think I have any left in my airbrush to get rid of that excess. Right there. Clean it out. And then we can move on to putting on some other type of chroming parts. So see what the difference right here, if you can tell. Aluminum, Tamiya color, Alclad II aluminum. Certainly is true. I like both of them. This one's a little bit more sparkly. This one is less dull due to the metallics that are in the other aluminum. I like the dull coat. Looks really nice on that. Always important to clean out the airbrush. Time consuming as it is, it must be done. Gotta find my cap though. I don't know where I put that. A little black thingy over here. Comes in ever so handy. And you know your color is always clean when you do that. And you don't see anything coming out of it. Looks fairly good. Clean out the rest. Now we are going to do some foiling. Keep in mind my foiling is not the greatest on the planet, but it gets by. Hopefully everything turns out nicely. I got a little pad here. I did sand down my aircraft with 8,000 grit wet sanded before I sprayed the aluminum Alclad on there. Keep that in mind. So I've got this. Using some metal leaf adhesive stuff right here. I put it on with a Q-tip that's mildly wet. That way the stuff, it levels out basically. That's what we're trying to do. So we've got this right here. And it's supposed to just kind of work in small sections. And I've got this. It's a little bit bumpy and rigidy, but I'm okay with that because we're going to call it weathering. And this piece should fit nicely right here. We're going to straighten it out a little bit. Just like so. That's wonderful. It'll fit just like that. I like it. I'm going to use the doll side because the doll side always works a little bit better than everything else. It's a little shimmery, of course. Doesn't need a lot. There we go. And I thin mine out and wet it. That way it spreads evenly, because it can be rather thick. Look at that, I'm getting it all over the place already. And this stuff sticks very, 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 very well. As you can see, there's different ways you can do it. You can put it on this or on the plane. The directions tell you to put it on the material, then add the foil to it. We are doing it this way because we can. I've got all that on there. I'm going to try and make it a little bit more wet. That way the glue will space out evenly. And that's why I kind of have some line marks in it from before. You see it separate out a little bit. That's kind of what we want, but kind of not. It'll coat that fine. Then just let it sit. Probably should have done this earlier, but it doesn't need to sit too long, maybe a couple of minutes, and everything pops out nicely. At least it should. Then you got this, you know, you go around cutting around all your little pieces right there, shoving them down inside. Very happy with how this stuff is turning out so far. That is the goal. Make everything look pretty with some model making madness. Now it's starting to turn white and separate out. It says let it dry clear, but I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy. And this stuff sticks really well to begin with. So I'm going to take it and just stick it right on here. Just like that. Then got our foil. Press it down and in. Maybe I should wait because it does like to move around on it. So we'll let it sit just a little bit more. Let it get a little bit tacky, but the fact that it's moving around, that tells me at least that it'll separate out nicely. Press it down. You can see some of that already coming in there. Oopsie. Look at that. Directions say you wait like a half hour, but I'm such an impatient person. I can't stand to do that because that would make sense. It gets all over your hands. Yeah, so this is the Alclad right here. It is a lacquer base. It's very tough. As you can see, it dries very quickly. Stays on. I don't know if it can be buffed or not. I imagine maybe it can. I don't know, we'll see. That's what it does. It's really smooth too. I'm certainly happy how it turned out. I'm sure other people will make theirs look a lot better than mine, but that's how mine looks. Always good to try new things. Ugh. Oops. There we go. So I should pay attention to which stuff you're using and when. If I turn it over, I think we'll see how it turns white. And that's when we'll know it's time to put this stuff on. It's been a fun adventure so far, doing all this. So I thank you for watching with me. Next time I'm going to just put that on and let it dry. I just wasn't exactly sure how long I needed to wait. We've got all these components right here that we need to do. Some of this will have to get painted. You can see on this, it's got the internal engine parts, which I am going to leave this off, but it has a decal that goes on it, so I'm going to have to put it on, put the decal on, then take it right back off, then put on the propeller and all that good junk. So that's going to be a fun adventure. Just a couple more parts, I guess you could say, for me to put onto this thing. Ugh, sticky glue. Once this is dry right here, yeah, it is kind of wet because my finger's not sticking. It's probably because of that water I put on there. Once that water goes away and it starts turning clear, this stuff's going to stick like glue. Imagine that. I have an idea though. Stick it by a heater I've got down here. I think that should do it. There we go. What I'm going to do is clean off this a little bit with some isopropyl alcohol, because I did get a little too much on there. We want to clean that off. Like I said, this is some very messy stuff. Use my cotton swabs. So everything works its way down in there. Just like that. Take our knife. Going to put a mild cut right down the middle. And right here, the hinges, and over here. You can kind of see it poking out. There we go. I know I got a toothpick around here that I can use somewhere. It comes in handy for these types of things. Like that. We want it to look exactly like it does over here. Perfect. Now, had I let my foil dry a little bit longer, this would turn out better. But see, it's turning to crud right now because I didn't do it right. And that's what happens when you don't follow instructions. See, it's way too moist. So this is what not to do. That's okay though, because I've got plenty of glue that's actually on this. We are going to space out a little bit more. Just like so. And we'll get ourselves a new piece of foil and put that on there. And this will turn out wonderful. So I'm out of foil now. That's what happens when you do it wrong. We're going to do it right real quick. And I'm glad you can see what happens when you do it wrong. All right, so this stuff here is actually now dry clear like it's supposed to be. Going to put our foil on there, just like this. Nice and sticky. Burnish it in. Let's see how well this is actually turning out once you do things properly. Then we'll cut off the excess. Let it sit for a little bit. We'll take this, put a little cut there and there. One there. smoothly around this. Just like that. Take our toothpick. Now you see that right there just magically popped up. That's supposed to be like that. And then you can turn it over lightly, ever so lightly. I know it's hard to see me doing this through the camera angles, but bear with me. Got this right here is going to come off. And of course, this we can kind of cut right there. Sharp blades also help, by the way. Got that in there. Burnish it down. See how well this all turns out. Then we'll paint over this and do all sorts of good stuff. There you go. And that is how we're going to do the rest of this plane. I'm going to get to that, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. So thank you for watching for the past hour and 2 minutes with me. I'll see you next time.